All right, Eric, thank you. Back over here alongside Bob Lutz, looking at so much great automotive history that is here at the corner of 9 Mile in Woodward, the Dream Cruise Roadshow here on public TV at dptv.org and antiquesroadshow.org and other places worldwide. Happy to have you along with us. Bob Lutz, the next car up is something that you and I spent a little time around a month or so ago, the 1965 Plymouth Satellite. Dan Lewandowski brought it in to shoot the promo, which we had a lot of fun doing.
Yep,
That's
exactly.
an incredible car.
Yeah, it's a beautiful car, and it's very beautifully restored, quite original, and just a lovely car. And it's interesting to note, remember we talked about Plymouth styling going very swoopy in 1957, and it stayed that way for a while, and then the fashion turned back to more angular cars. So this is 65, 8 years after the 57, is that we're back to a very rectilinear car with a horizontal belt line and everything. Very, very elegant, but it's just interesting to see how the design evolved back into something that was done at an earlier era. This is a beautiful example of the brand. I always thought this was a very pure design. It's got a very noble grille with simple graphics. So it's a really sweet car.
The other thing that you noticed almost immediately when we brought you into the studio to look at this one is a compliment to the owner, Dan Lewandowski. You said the door closed, the gaps, everything was a lot tighter than original spec.
Well, people do that a lot with when they restore American cars, because it was sometimes joked that in an American assembly plant they had a series of sheet metal parts flying along in loose formation. And the restorers always fix that. They always bring everything down to 3 and 4 millimeters. It's not authentic, but you have to say it.
Well, let's meet Dan Lewandowski with his 1965 Plymouth Satellite, who's with Eric Gorgeous. Eric, over to you.
Man, it is great to see you again, buddy.
Thanks.
I love this car. Love the color, love the lines. It is just beautiful. And I'm not supposed to tell you, but after we got done shooting the promo, Bob and I took it out and beat the hell out of it.
You know, when you're supposed to. That's what the car's made for. That's what it's. I put a 446 pack in it just so you could do that.
446. So 6-pack means you got three 2-barrel carburetors,
That's
right?
correct.
And tell me more about it. Do you have a hard time tuning those?
Actually, no. I tune it up at the beginning of the year.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with it. It's hasn't been no trouble with it. I originally had a 4-barrel, and it's the same thing as a 4-barrel.
Yeah, but
So,
you know what? The
but
6-pack looks cool.
And it's more power.
Oh, yeah, it's
So,
just great.
but
And tell me about the color. I love the color of this car.
it is candy apple brandywine.
That's why
With
I like
a gold base, and it took first place at Autorama a
Oh.
couple years ago.
Good for you. Rightfully so, man. It's just a beautiful color. It's so deep and rich.
And you know, this color was similar to that year,
Yeah.
but I put candy to it.
Yeah.
So now it just brings it out.
Candy just pops.
Yep.
I love the wheels. You got nice Craigers on here. And tell me about when you bought it. Was it in this kind of shape, or was it pretty rough? Or
You know, I went down to Columbus, Ohio to get this car, and it had backed into a pole. You couldn't see out of the back window.
Oh, geez.
It had a rod knock. So I took a 4-door 65 Plymouth, put a bumper hitch on it, borrowed a trailer, and we brought it home. And as it turned out, the rod knock was a loose convertible.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So the
Nice.
engine was fine.
Oh, that's fantastic.
So I
That's a
drove
good
it,
story.
Drove it for a while, and it sat for a while, and then I restored it.
All
so
right.
Brought it
Well,
to.
Great job, buddy.
Thank you. Good
Thanks
seeing you
again, man. It was great to see you again.
Take care.
Love the car.
Thanks.
All right, Fred.
All right, Eric, thank you. And Bob, I remember just another memory from that day. You and Dan were sort of took a seat, grabbed a glass of water, and said, "This is the Chrysler retiree section over here."
Yeah, it really is. Yeah.
It was nice to have this, have you guys get together. It was pretty cool.